the Sioux City Musketeers at 7:05 p.m. on Friday and the Omaha Lancers at 6:05 on Saturday. Friday is FFA and Ag Night, and Saturday is Billet Appreciation Night. Lock in your seats for all the fights, checks, and goals now at LincolnStars.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. The Supernovas Radio Network is live. This is the Omaha Supernovas pregame show brought to you by Mullen Motors.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Mullen Motors pregame show here on a wonderful Supernovas game day as the Omaha Supernovas prepare to take on the Columbus Fury. I am Enrique Alvarez Clary, better known as Rico. Joining me to my right is the coach, Renee Saunders.
What's up, Rico?
It's been so long since I've seen you.
You know, I feel like we just spent – the weather was about similar to what it is in Omaha right now.
You think
Actually,
so? I feel like
less
it's cold.
palm
I feel like it's colder here.
It was colder
just
in the morning.
slightly. Just slightly.
And less palm trees.
Off of the road trip to San Diego, the one-game road trip, no long road trips for the Supernovas on this last one as they went down to San Diego and unfortunately fell to the Mojo 3-1. Before we get into this matchup with Columbus, I kind of want to go back and I want to ask you, what happened? What happened at Viejas Arena?
We just could not get anything going. You know, but let's be honest. Betty De La Cruz showed everybody who Betty De La Cruz is. I think we've all been kind of waiting for that performance to happen, and it happened. So I'm really hoping that she can have a repeat performance tonight and that everybody else increases their level of play.
Betty De La Cruz with a franchise record 26 kills in the loss to the Mojo, and Hristina Vuchkova, although not on the offensive end, on the defensive end with a franchise record 6 blocks. 6 blocks.
And I want to say she had like 3 or 4 in the fourth set. She was single-handedly trying to block us back into the game.
Now, something that I heard DP talking about yesterday on Old School for the little bit that he was in since we got in, kind of hit the traffic, got in a little bit later than we thought we were going to. On Old School, something that kind of potentially went into the issues that the Supernovas face is, you know, they're used to CHI Health Center, beautiful CHI Health Center filled with people, right? In Viejas Arena, it was a little quiet. It wasn't as full. There were, you know, a decent amount of folks there to support the Mojo, but a quiet arena after you're used to playing in front of, you know, tens of thousands of fans can throw you off, right?
I mean, I want to say yes if you're like in high school or college, but I would think by the time you're a professional, that would be something that kind of like no excuse for. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, even talking to Bird earlier today, a couple times actually.
Mhm.
Both times she said, like, they're the ones saying, hey, that can't be an excuse. Like, we're professionals. We need to get this done. And the players are saying that. So they know. I feel like every game we've had somebody do something outstanding, or 2 or 3 people be outstanding. Hopefully, as the season goes on, that continues to be more and more and more.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it was weird playing in a hole, like a cavernous type of arena. It was weird being in front of only like 1,000 people. There's all those things, but you're still playing the same game on the same court. You just got to find a way to get dialed in and focused and come out the same way every single game. And it's normally on the road, we've been pretty good at doing that. And so it was a little odd and kind of made you kind of tilt your head like, that's not the Supernovas team that we're used to watching play. Like, normally on the road, like, they're road warriors, right? And it just didn't seem like anything was clicking, and they didn't really have much time to fix it between then and now. So hopefully everybody makes a decision to play, do their jobs and do their jobs well.
When you were watching the Supernovas in that one, like you said, it was kind of a head tilt because you're used to them playing so well on the road, and they've had their struggles at home, but it almost seems, and look, it's one game, but it almost seems like it's kind of a little bit flipped where their last few home matches, they've played really well. They've played really well in front of their packed arena here at CHI Health Center. And then the one road trip that they've had in this last 2 weeks was not even it was bad. It was not the greatest showing from the Supernovas. And is there like one thing that you might be able to like pick out from that performance?
Oh, I felt like we serve and pass pretty well, which is always a goal. But when you're passing that well, then we should be more efficient on offense.
Mhm.
So our offensive efficiency wasn't great. And it was weird because I thought Sydney was making pretty good choices for the most part. Like, obviously I always think we should set the middle more. I think that's a very important part of the game. So that's part of it. But the other part is the hitters were making good shots and they were making good decisions. They were just missing. And sometimes that happens. It's a game of inches, It's not something that you've seen how close some of those Bolt 6 camera angles are. Like,
as DP said, it was a fingernail.
A fingernail is in between in and out. And I thought that we were making good decisions on what we were going for. That being said, when we then went with our strong shots, they were digging them. So we've got to definitely differ up our attack a little bit, be a little less predictable, go a little faster tempo. I think, there were times where I felt like we were running a high school tempo ball, and I think they can go a lot faster than that.
Staying on that is, we've talked about it in multiple other games, the depth of the Supernovas bench, and usually, you don't want to have to, cut into that depth in a game like they had against the Mojo. You want to be able to get more people in because you're having such a good game. But another showing of, although in a loss, the Supernovas and Coach Bird able to bring some people in, and although it didn't make a difference in terms of getting the win, switching some people in made a little bit of a difference as the game went on.
Well, yeah, in a way, I think, we talked to Coach Bird after the game, and I think there were things when you lose, you're automatically thinking, what could I have done better? So I'm thinking Bird probably would have pulled even more strings, but it wasn't like we were ever out of the match.
Yes.
Everything was close. So we were just trying to find a point or two, not trying to totally change momentum, where in previous games where we didn't play well, we were trying to change momentum. So, she pulled in Paige Briggs, who did a good job off the bench. Went to Jess Shaven-Landsman, back to Nia Reed, trying to find some consistency on that right side pin, some termination from there. And then she put in Gabby Thompson, which I thought was a great, because her and Kendall are such different players.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby brings a different presence on the floor, and sometimes you need that calming presence, and sometimes you need that spark plug presence. And not that I think we needed calming against San Diego, but in a way I think we needed consistency.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have to be careful how I say this, because I don't want to throw shade at the Mojo or anything, but what would you say to this team after, going into that game? You're going up against a team that has 3 wins on the season, and then you're leaving, and now they have 4 wins on the season. What do you say to your team, not only in the locker room, but, they came back, they had a practice, and now today getting ready, preparing to take on the Columbus Fury. What would you have said in your coaching brain? What would you have said to this team?
Well, I think the bottom line is that there's not that much difference between 1 and 7. Like I know in a stand, I can look at the standing and I can see there's number 1, there's number 7. It looks like there's a clear-cut difference.
Mhm.
But in all actuality, it's really kind of a small margin for error. And when you're a professional, you play 15 matches and you're winning, 66% of them,
Yeah.
you're doing pretty good. Now, I'd love to have the 3 games back that we didn't play well.
Mhm.
One of them was in Columbus that I wasn't at. I was not there, but I hear it was a fun environment, similar to
it was
this.
Great, yeah.
And then I missed the game at Grand Rapids. We played well there.
Crazy
then-
how you missed the 2 northernmost places in the coldest months.
That was not intentional. They were during the school week, and I was trying to
Mhm. Sure, right, DP?
save it for the warmer days. You're getting me in trouble here,
No,
Rico.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Go on with your thought.
Grand Rapids or San Diego.
I get it. But what would you have said to this team coming back from that?
The bottom line is we have to be in a good headspace. Like there's things we have to do better. We have to be more consistent, but we have to use that as a learning opportunity. And a 4-win team now at San Diego is not a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
They still have a lot of season to play. They could be in the top 4 at the end. So every match matters at this point, and it's a matter of how fast can we bounce back and take care of Columbus on kind of our revenge tour tonight, because we didn't play that well the last time we played in Columbus.
You mentioned a revenge tour. Is that how you would go into this, or is there a different, is this just, it's another game?
It's another game, but let's be honest. In the back of our minds, we want to prove that we were better than we were that last game.
Mhm.
And I think revenge is a bad word for it, because if it worked that way, every game would be a revenge tour at some point, because you're playing for everybody. There's going to be 4 matches for every game, right? For every team. So I think it's more of a every match matters moment, right? Yeah, you're number 2 right now, but we need this win tonight. And so we have to find a way to do the best we can do tonight to get that victory.
Is this going to be one of those matches where the Supernovas, and they've done it before, they feed off of this crowd? Because again, coming from San Diego, coming from where the Mojo were playing, not much of a crowd to speak of. Is this a game where the Supernovas, they don't have to bring their own juice? This is a game where you make a big play, the crowd's cheering for you, and it's loud. It's going to be loud in here. Is that something that they'll be able to take advantage of?
Yeah, I think every time we play at home, I think since the championships are here, we're going
to get into that next.
We need to embrace, right, playing at home, using the crowd to our advantage, using the fans to our advantage, using the energy to our advantage. So I think early in the season, it was almost like nervy, right?
Mhm.
Like we felt pressure, like, oh my God, you have all these people and we're expected to be number 1. And, we're worried about all these things that really don't matter,
Mhm.
right? Like we just have to play our game and do our thing. And I think we've proven that we're a very good team. We just have to play ball.
Is that part of it? You mentioned, going into it and being projected to be number 1. And, you've had a little bit of success in your coaching career. So is there any unneeded pressure when you go into a match like San Diego, or, although they have the loss against Columbus is further down in the standings than them, is there some unneeded pressure in, like, people are expecting us to win?
In some ways, expecting to win can be an advantage.
Okay.
Right? Because it's that confidence. Like, we go in expecting to win, but you can't expect the other team to not try.
To just let you win.
Correct. There's a big difference between expecting to win and then expecting the other team to, like, lay an egg. Okay, like you have to have the confidence that you expect that you can win because you're capable, right? You're talented. You're very good at what you do, but you also have to know that you have to earn it. You have to work for it. It's one of those things. I think it was Matt. It was like talked about winning and how it's the best deodorant,
Mhm.
right? You don't really know what stinks if you're winning all the time.
Yeah.
So I think as long as the Supernovas are learning each match that they lose, even if it's like we didn't play well, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. Well, maybe it was in our prep. Maybe it was in our focus before the game. Maybe it was in the game itself and our decision making, whatever it might be. If we can learn and grow from that, then I think it's a win, right? Even though it sucks to lose, it's still a win if we can learn from it. And then you have to play the long game. We just need to be in the top 4 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be number 1.
No.
You don't have to be number 3. Right now, all the pressure is on Atlanta because they are number 1,
Mm-hmm.
and they're playing really well right now. So I'm telling them our goal is to be playing well at the end. So that means we have to keep getting better so we're playing our best ball at the end.
Omaha coming in off the loss to San Diego. Columbus coming in on a 2-game losing skid. One of those is going to end tonight. But until then, you're listening to the Mullen Motors pregame show here on the Supernovas Radio Network. I'm Rico. This is Coach Saunders. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what she mentioned. The championships are going to be here in Omaha, and we're also going to touch on the last 2 matches for the Columbus Fury as they come in on a 2-game losing streak. You're listening to the Supernovas Radio Network.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Furious Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Furious Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
The Supernovas Radio Network is live. This is the Omaha Supernovas pregame show brought to you by Mullen Motors.
We are jamming here inside the CHI Health Center. Rico joined by the coach, Renee Saunders. DP getting some work done, getting stuff ready for himself as he will be joining on the next segment of the Mullen Motors pregame show right here on the Supernovas Radio Network. Welcome back. Supernovas volleyball taking on the Columbus Fury inside CHI Health Center on Heroes Night. The Supernovas will celebrate the military and the first responders here. Some cool t-shirts. Coach Saunders has one of them on. Supernovas with the camo.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I can get a green shirt.
Yeah. I don't know why you like green. I don't know. Green's kind of
a great color.
It's a
great color.
It's the color of champions, right?
That's
what that is?
That's what I hear.
People are. The DJ is on fire tonight.
He's doing really well.
All right, the DJ is on one tonight. So again, this is Heroes Night here in the CHI Health Center, and what we're going to get to is something that Coach Saunders mentioned in the first segment, that Omaha was announced as the location for the inaugural Pro Volleyball Federation Championships in May. So the Final Four, if you will take place here in Omaha, as they have been able to fill almost the CHI Health Center night after night, game after game, match after match. And the Pro Volleyball Federation has taken notice and has awarded Omaha with the championship.
It's awesome. I mean, in my head, and I'm totally biased, but I think Omaha's the best place to play. I mean, even when we have like the NCAA Final Four here for volleyball, Omaha shows up, and it's fun. It's a great environment. I think that they go above and beyond on how they treat the teams that come in. Our hospitality is fantastic. And Columbus is also very good at this, right? Like
You'll get to experience it. It was nice.
the Final Four in Columbus is always super fun too.
Yeah.
Like it's they know how to host events. I think Omaha also knows how to host events. And so obviously I'm a little impartial and I'm super excited that it's in Omaha. But I think like Wednesday night, I think they could sell out CHI for the first actual championships of the PBS.
I mean,
PBF.
you want to talk about, fan support. This is part of the release that they have. The host team, Omaha, has hosted at least 11,000 fans in 4 of their 6 home matches this season, including the record, 12,090 on March 16th. 6 of the top 7 attendance figures in Pro Volleyball Federation this year have come from matches played in Omaha. The fan support is second in that.
Right. And I think if we look at total attendance for the whole PVF and we take and divide out Omaha's total attendance, we probably have 40% of the 7 venues of attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an insane number of people that are supporting the Supernovas in season 1. Just think, it's going to get better.
This is only the first season.
This is only the first season. We're just
people are still getting used to it.
This is a sample for everybody, just so they can see like what it's about. And I think there's a lot of people that come just to check it out. And I think there's a lot of people that are hooked after they come to one game. Like people have said it's electric, it's super exciting, like best event I've been to, like super fun, like all these things I'm hearing back based on people coming to attend the games.
It's crazy because I'll have a bunch of my friends who, from high school and college, who I'll see them post on Facebook or Twitter that they're at a Supernovas match. And I'm just like, did you enjoy it? And they go, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was nothing like it. And they're just like, I want to go back. I want to go to another match. And I'm just like, yeah, it is great. They are fantastic.
It is. And it's funny because we're down here with these headsets on, right? And when we take them off, it's so loud in here.
So loud.
Like, I think sometimes when you're sitting in your seats, you don't realize how loud it gets. But at floor level, if you're in the arena, you are loud. You are fantastic.
You guys are doing an amazing job. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to everybody listening to the Supernovas Radio Network on 93.7, The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Don't forget to download the Ticket app, and don't forget to download the Supernovas app so you can get on there and see the roster, see the schedule, get all the stats, quick stats that you want, and you can keep along with the game, and you can check out the statistics live while they're going. That's what I did when I was down in Oklahoma City. I kept up. You guys were over here doing your thing. You guys had Nick sitting here, but I was keeping up. I was looking at the stats, and I'm sitting there. They get down 3 points. I'm like, come on, figure it out. Come on, Renee, push them a little bit.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt. No problem.
I got you guys. But the team that they will be facing tonight, the Columbus Fury, come in on a 2-game losing streak where they have been swept versus at the Atlanta Vibe and hosting the Orlando Valkyries. Haven't taken a set from either one of them. And off air, we were talking about their last matchup against Orlando. I was looking at the statistics. I remember watching the game a little bit. Not the greatest showing from the Fury.
No, and they're kind of in a different situation because they had some weird late waivers, right? They got rid of some players, got some new players. They got a trade from Atlanta. So obviously, like San Diego, we talked about how they were just starting to get everything put together, right? And to find some continuity. Columbus almost had to start back again because they inserted Dilfer into their starting lineup, which you add a setter, change your setter they haven't worked with. There's going to be growing pains that go along with that. I think I used Jekyll and Hyde to kind of describe.
You did say that.
The Fury.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was with you guys or at school with my coworkers.
No, you said it
today. I probably told multiple people, but I feel like I watch them play some games and they're absolutely unstoppable. Like Reagan Cooper went off against us in the last match that I was watching from home on my big screen TV because I also, when I'm not there, I'm still there.
Yeah, so Reagan Cooper had a fantastic start to the season and, has kept it up for the most part. But in the last matchup against Orlando, only 10 kills. And Asia O'Neal, the first overall pick over here warming up in front of us, didn't play for a good portion of the start of the season. Her first match for the Fury came against Omaha, and she kind of showed why she was the number 1 overall pick. And then she had to sit out for a few more matches. I don't know why, potentially for an injury, but she came back and she's been making her presence felt. But like you said, you get a new setter, you're trying to work things out. Well, Asia O'Neal and Reagan Cooper a little quiet in the last match.
Yeah, and the reason they were quiet is their serve receive was not very good. And so I think Orlando set a record with 10 service aces in that match. I remember watching it, and it was similar to that, like the wheels are off the bus and then the bus goes into a ravine and then bursts into flames.
Just
Nothing was
everything.
going right for Columbus. And that's the Jekyll and Hyde part of it. Like there was the team that showed up when we played them the first time, and the team that I think beat Atlanta earlier in the season. I think, didn't they beat Atlanta earlier in the season?
Sure I think they did. Let's see.
They won 3-1.
Yes, they did.
Yep. And then they lost 0-3 to them. So they have the potential to be really, really good on one night and then get ace 10 times another night. And so in a way, I think all these teams are kind of dealing with that same process of kind of figuring some things out and finding consistency and in play, consistency in their lineups, consistency in training, consistency in pregame routine. I think they're working on finding those things. And now with Columbus, with the waivers and the additions, obviously now they're trying to find rhythm mid-season. Oh, actually, you're 2/3 of the way done, basically.
Are they? I was going to. Are they mid-season?
We are 2/3.
Yeah,
we're 2/3, and then they are 5-7, so they're halfway.
Okay.
This is match 13 for them and match 16 for us, I believe.
The difference is it just throws me off sometimes because
Yep.
like you said, San Diego's got 10,
That
11
was
matches.
Game 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
they're still trying to figure things out as well. But you are listening to the Mullen Motors pregame show here on the Supernovas Radio Network, powered by 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Rico. That's Coach Saunders. DP will be joining you in the next segment. Keep it tuned right here.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
The Supernovas Radio Network is live. This is the Omaha Supernovas pregame show brought to you by Mullen Motors.
We're about 30-plus minutes from First Serve CHI Health Center, Omaha, Nebraska, on the Supernovas Radio Network, powered by 93.7 The Ticket. I'm TP. Coach Renee Saunders, Enrique Alvarez, Clary Kimes, Sarah Harrison Arns at the mothership, making sure this thing gets back to you. And we thank you in advance for downloading the Ticket app, downloading the Supernovas app, and having it locked and loaded. Listen, you can look at the stream on YouTube and catch our call at the same time. As a matter of fact, some have said it's better.
I've heard that.
I'm just going to put that out there for you and allow you to make decisions accordingly. Yeah.
We try to shine. We try to shine.
Well, we do our best.
That's all we ask.
Well, here's the thing. So, again, we talk about how fluid this league is, and your place in the league is a matter of sets and how you get through it. And for an Omaha team that comes in off a road trip, there's the opportunity to bounce back or to get caught in the quicksand of it. And then if you're Columbus, this is a statement night for this team because the talent around the league will point to Columbus and say they're a team to watch constantly, consistently, whether they're getting the production or not. So, Coach, let's start on the roster for the Fury.
The Fury.
Yep, let's go. Let's start at folks that names that they should know. We'll get to the starters in a minute.
Well, I mean, the most recent addition is probably the most well-known, and she just happens to be standing right in front of me.
Yeah.
But Michelle Barch-Hackley, USA national team player, outside hitter from Illinois, 11-year pro. It was funny because I think I was watching one of the Fury games, and she was just one of the fans. And then next thing you know, like 2 weeks later, she signed onto the roster, and she's playing volleyball again. So that's pretty cool, probably the most well-known person. Ray Santos was the setter last time we played them. But since they picked up Stringer from Atlanta, Ray Santos is now coming in off the bench, which is another like different thing. Raynell Jones, well, Asia Neal was out. She was the one playing quite a bit out of Maryland. Could see her. You never know. Every time she comes in off the bench, she's done a really nice job for them. And then Jenna Rosenthal, who we haven't seen yet, and I'm pretty sure she's active, but she's out of Marquette. So all those Big East people, I'm sure they remember Jenna Rosenthal from there. 6'6", middle blocker, another national team roster player.
This speaks to the thing that we know to be true, that when you're playing back-to-back games and you're on the road, that depth matters, the bench matters, right?
Right, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard anyway. I was, yesterday we traveled, and I had to go to work today, and then like, oh, and we have a game tonight. Like, it's weird because it feels like the game should be tomorrow night. There should be like another day off in between there, and it's not. But I think they dusted the cobwebs off when they got back last night. I think they landed, practiced, got a good night's rest. The little bird tells me that they're in a good headspace and ready to go. And then I didn't even mention Nicoletta Perovich. She's also another addition that Bird thinks that we might see tonight at the opposite, 6'4" lefty, 16-year pro. So they added a lot of experience between Hackley and Perovich.
And coming in, we talked about the weight of having back-to-back losses in this federation.
Yeah, you don't. That's the last thing you want is back-to-back losses. You don't. And for Columbus, you don't want 3 in a row. So they're going to be fighting hard to find a W tonight, and I think that the Supernovas need to show some grit and find a way to get the win at home.
So for Columbus, what's the conversation for a team that has talent, right? You know how you match up, or how you matched up against Omaha in match number 1. What do you say to each other as you prepare to face in front of 8,000 plus in Omaha?
Well, I mean, Columbus kind of hangs their hat on defense, right? They grind it out, and they dig a lot of balls, and they frustrate the other team. And so I think that's what they need to focus on, is they need to focus on out-digging the Supernovas. And if they can do that and frustrate the Supernovas a little bit, that's kind of what heads up, Rico. It's kind of what San Diego did to us. They outdug us. They frustrated us. We tried to make these shots that were a little bit harder. We missed by just a little bit. But defense can frustrate teams. And it wasn't necessarily San Diego's block. It was San Diego's digging. And so that's what Columbus does really well. I think that's what they're going to try to do tonight.
Let's go through some of the folks who we expect to call their name quite a bit tonight. Let's start first with the number 1 pick.
You mean Asia O'Neal?
Yeah, that part.
She probably runs the best slide in the league. Her and Molly McCage are both just amazing running that slide, and they're fun to watch. Did she play the first time we played them? I was trying to remember that.
Yes.
Okay, so that was her first game back, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because she was out injured. She had like a foot surgery or something, and that was her first game back. Her and Reagan Cooper hurt us badly, along with their defense when we played them for the first time. So I think you might be calling Asia O'Neal's name a little bit. They didn't get a call a lot when they played Orlando, and that was because Columbus had serve receive issues. I think if Columbus serve receives Wells, then you're going to be saying Asia O'Neal's name a lot.
I thought that Caitlin Horde had probably her best match of the season against Omaha in match 1.
Yeah, Caitlin Horde, Penn State, then came to Nebraska for 1 year, played there. Super dynamic, bouncy middle, moves great laterally, really good blocker, but she's wonderful in front of the setter. So they have two different style of attacking. Horde's really good in front of the setter, and Asia O'Neal's really good behind the setter.
Well, the reason I said that was that I didn't see her.
I thought I saw her earlier today.
Well, that was the thing that I was asking for, right? In the numbers. One, we spent a lot of time looking at the opposing team just to see how they move, how they're communicating, what's the vibe. And as I looked around, it was not a thing. Now, there's certain players that look like Asia O'Neal looks like she's on A-game mode.
100%.
100%. Leon looks like she is fired up and ready to put on the show.
Well, then we're probably going to see Raynell Jones in the middle then.
Yeah, which is
for Horde, because I do not see her out here now that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and it was in match 1 that Raynell Jones came off the bench and just put in work.
I remember her from her Maryland days. I mean, she's a baller. Again, they're strong in the middle, and their ability to pass is going to be important for them to be able to run that. If not, obviously, Reagan Cooper on the outside is pretty darn good too. She was player of the week for the PVF one. I think it was literally the week that she played us.
Yeah.
Didn't she light up us and somebody else?
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but she was player of the week. And then I think the following week, Asia O'Neal was player of the week.
Here's what we'll do. We'll toward the break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the rest of the roster, and then we'll look at the Supernovas. And we would expect that in a time like this, there may be changes. So lots to talk about here in the pre-match show here on the Supernovas Radio Network, and powered by 93.7 The Ticket.
Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
The Supernovas Radio Network is live. This is the Omaha Supernovas pregame show brought to you by Mullen Motors.
CHI Health Center, Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, there's so many weird things going on. And being courtside, we get to witness and see the vibe of things and how things are moving. DP, Coach Renee Saunders on the Supernovas Radio Network. Columbus Fury in town at 5-7, an opportunity for them to kind of push themselves back up into that playoff 4. And this is a statement coming off 2 losses. We were talking about Caitlin Horde because we try to figure out who's in the building and who's not.
Well,
and then the quick count.
She did not travel.
Okay.
Not playing tonight, but we don't know why.
Okay. So, I mean, these are things like why in a pregame we do what we do. And I wanted to watch. Here's another thing, Coach. Watching Columbus warm up, there's a lot of stray volleyballs.
We're getting, yes, there are.
Like we know the count, how many we normally get sitting here. There's a lot.
There are. But the last time I said that there were a lot of stray volleyballs was when Atlanta was in town. So
I don't remember that.
I do.
I don't remember
because
that.
I was like, dang, they are shanking balls left and right. And then they kind of rocked us. So we're going to try to hope that there's not a correlation between stray volleyballs and how they play.
Well, we know who they are.
Yes.
And we're not going to be surprised if Columbus brings a game and shows up, because that's the Pro Volleyball Federation. That's literally what it is from top to bottom, that on any given night, everybody has talent. Everybody can show out. There are players on this roster. Again, Reagan Cooper for what she did. I thought in match 1 that Samantha Drexel just was a problem and a hard matchup. It just seemed like they couldn't beat her to her spot.
Agree. And I think we've become a better blocking team since we played Columbus the last time. I think we're setting up a better block on the pins. But she does provide us with an issue, right? She gives us a look that we haven't seen. Her arm swing's a little bit different. And we did struggle with her a little bit. But I do think we have improved a lot since the last time we played Columbus.
Give me the how on that, because that provides one of those keys to the game, critical matchup sort of deals.
Well, I think defensively, especially our last couple games at home, we've been really gritty on defense, and we've kind of been like that relentless team that's doing exactly what Columbus does really well. Dig a lot of balls, put up a good block. I mean, look at Vuchkova, what she did in San Diego. Our pin blocks aren't great. You know, they're not perfect, but they're improving every single match, which is what you want to see. Because pin blocking is hard when you're playing against the best attackers in the world. So that'll be something that does make a difference. It'll be fun to see how it's almost like one of those benchmark games. We played them early in the season. Now we're playing them in, our last third of the season. Have we improved in all areas of the game compared to the last time?
We're chuckling because into the lower bowl marches an Iowa brigade. There's an Iowa. So maybe those are some of the heroes.
I think that's who's lining our tunnel.
That is, well, technically, we're in the neighborhood of Iowa. We're a quick jaunt down the road, like
right over the interstate.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of moments. So it's a thing. Yeah, that's interesting that there's a full rain.
And maybe they're heroes from Iowa.
Well, you know how Nebraska likes to deal with that.
I'm going to keep quiet, but I do know that
that's the sport radio.
I do know that I have friends there. They saw a bunch of Iowa people, they start booing.
Yeah, I was wondering about whether we were going to talk about that. The cog that makes the Fury go. And she was just elite in matchup 1. Leon was just complete. She was absolute. She was in control. She got them the ball in different places. She was hard to read. She made great last-minute decisions. She's as good as we've seen. And, again, we just matched up with a libero that had it going. How do you handle that? Because she's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason she's on the Puerto Rican national team. Valeria Leon, probably one of the best liberos in the league, 6-year pro, so she has that experience. She's playing for her coach, who I believe coached the Puerto Rican national team, has a lot of international experience. She is the black hole of defense. Anything hit around her, and we've seen a lot of good liberos in a lot of matches.
There are no bad liberos in this federation.
Correct.
We can just say that.
Correct.
It'll be uniform.
Every single libero can play, but some of them have a little bit more range than others, and Leon is one that has a little bit more range than others.
And her touch.
Yes.
When she plays it, there are some that can use trickery and style. But Leon in match 1 was just, her touch was fantastic. No matter where she received the ball, she got it up to the net in a position where they could attack. Her transition game was fantastic. Again, it's a matchup that we need to watch.
Yeah, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if we serve at her. I think they'll stick. We'll be true to form. We'll probably attack at their outside hitters, but for serving. But if we serve at her, then I think we're going to be saying that O'Neal name a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's the thing. And then there was a stretch on serve and then at the net where Megan Courtney Lush just changed everything. She seemed to finish, I don't know what her hit percentage was in match 1, but my goodness, she was a difference maker during critical runs, critical points of the match.
Well, she's a 2-time national champion from Penn State. She knows how to win. And I think when you have a player like that has that experience, she's a 7-year pro, she's a national team member, she's 31 years old. She knows what she's doing out there. I'm going to look it up to see what she did hit.
Yeah, it was just interesting.
She hit 260, but she terminated 35%. She had 11 kills on 31 swings.
And they were in critical moments.
I was just going to say, you remember them more when they happen at critical times. And she probably is one that they're going to want to go to because of her experience in that time. Cooper's a fantastic outside hitter as well. And she's younger. She's a rookie. She's wet behind the ears, but she's also a stud. Yeah. She's an All-American out of Texas Tech in Kansas. It got dark.
It got dark, and you looked around like, wait a minute, what's going on? Tell me about this coach. Coach Perez seems to have a really good relationship with the players, and their communication always seems solid. It's never chaotic. It's never shaky.
Yeah, he's the only Hispanic coach in the league, one of the few male coaches in the league, but he's also the only male who has international experience. So having him on the staff as the head coach, I mean, he played internationally, he coaches internationally, he played in France, Germany, Austria, Italy, Romania, Slovenia. He's played all over the place, played for the Puerto Rican men's national team. He has experience from all sorts of angles, right? As a player and as a coach. And I think anytime you go from player to coach, that's helpful. And I've heard nothing but positive things about him as a coach. The players love him. He knows how to manage legs and arms. And he's making a name for himself here in the PBF.
It's going to be interesting to watch. Again, watching teams under duress and how they react to it. Look, most teams in this federation are good when they're up front and when they're winning. I pay a lot of attention to how they handle stress and duress. We will find out about these two teams more than we've known all year. Both teams coming off losses, both teams in a critical mass situation within their season, and they know each other. They're familiar, talent on both sides. We'll go to break. When we'll come back, we'll set up this Supernovas roster. We'll start with the players that we're going to talk about, and then those that we think we're really going to talk about throughout the course of the night here at CHI Health Center. DP, Coach Renee Saunders on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
The Supernovas Radio Network is live. This is the Omaha Supernovas pregame show brought to you by Mullen Motors.
We're about 15 minutes from first serve. CHI Health Center, Omaha, Nebraska. DP Coach Renee Saunders. Rico with us and Harrison Arns back at the board again. We thank our fine friends at Mullen Motors for making sure this happens throughout the course of this thing. Coming off a tough loss, and there's no other way to describe it, tough loss on the road in San Diego. This Supernovas team sitting at 10-5, an opportunity tonight, another statement night. Let's go through some of the roster members, but first I need to ask you, conversations with Coach Bird, what's the little bird talking?
The little bird's shaking things up. She's making some changes, and we had a good conversation about just, like any coach, after a loss, your initial is like, what else could I have done? Could I have maybe made different changes, tried different things, mixed certain things up? Did I do it at the right time? Did I put in the right people? Could I have done something different? I mean, those are all questions you ask yourself after a loss. I think because of all those questions, I think that's part of the reason why she is trying to mix things up a little bit tonight. We're going to see Brooke Nonneveller back on the floor. We're going to see Betty De La Cruz on the floor again. Hopefully Betty has another match like she did in San Diego, because that, I think, is the Betty De La Cruz we've been waiting to see all year long. In the middle, Tori Dixon and Kristina Vuchkova, which have been pretty steadfast. Vuchkova really stepping up with her block. Obviously, we'd like to see both of them get more involved offensively. And then Sophie Davis has shown that she's very capable to come in if either of those two are struggling. Nia is going to get the start at opposite. She started also in San Diego, but then they subbed Shaven Landsman in, and then Jess came back out. Nia went back in. At setter, they're going to go for Nadi. They're going Nadi this match and going to try a little experiment with setter and libero, because then they're also starting Gabby Thompson, who, like we talked about, Sydney and Nadi are very different. Gabby and Kendall are very different in the same ways. Kendall's kind of that spark plug, energy, always like in your face type of, intensity. Gabby's more quiet, consistent, steady Eddie. I like to call liberos like that, the steady Eddies. Sydney being your more steady Eddie setter, and Nadi being more your little pistol. So it's kind of, they flip roles. Now we're going to have a setter that's a little bit more energy, and a libero that's a little bit more calm, which is opposite of what we normally go. So it'll be interesting. That Bird's actually really excited to see how that combination works, and I am too, because I think that they're gonna definitely help each other.
When you talk about Allison Mayfield and Maggie Cartwright, like, I think they kind of exemplify what the Supernovas team is really about at its depth and core.
Oh yeah, I mean those are two players that could come in and get 10 kills without even blinking an eye. They're that talented, that far down the bench. Mayfield and Bird had said like they may have to go to the bench, and who they choose all depends on what they need. You know, the Briggs decision usually is based on ball control and tempo. The Mayfield decision will probably be if we need kills. Kendall, we could see come in for Gabby if Gabby's struggling at all. Sydney, we could see if Nadi's struggling at all. Sophie, I said we might be able to see if either of the middle needs a break, and then obviously on the outside or on the right side, Just Shaven Landsman's a very, very legit opposite option as well.
It's interesting that as we talk about it, Paige Briggs is a name that has to be discussed because she provides so many different things depending on the matchup, depending on how on the game flow. But Paige is a factor. She's one you sort.
Oh, absolutely. I think she's kind of our like eighth man, right? You know, you have your 6 players that start, your 7th is your libero, and then you've got your first player off the bench. And I think Paige Briggs has kind of established herself as that person, the 8th woman off the bench.
I was going to let you go ahead and set that up.
I figure you were going to fix it.
I was just going to let that one sit there and let you work your way through it. Like, listen, I'm going to go ahead and let you handle that. I think it's important that we spend a little more time. Betty Dela Cruz and what she did 2 nights ago still resonates.
She just put on a show, an absolute show. I mean, the only thing I can think of is literally it was her trying to put everybody on her back to get that team to win. I mean, everything she could have done, she did. And she hates losing. So obviously it bothered her that she did everything she could and we still lost. But I think it goes to show that this isn't you can't have one player do everything. Yeah. We've got to have production from our middles. We've got to have production from our both hitters. We've got to have production from our opposite. And I think we will. I think that we're slowly figuring some of those things out, and they look better and better in certain ways. Certain games, certain players look better. And hopefully it keeps getting closer to go, closer and closer, so we get down to that point where everybody's playing their best game the last 2 matches of the season.
Yeah, the absolute best games. The last 2 matches of
at
the
the same time.
Yeah, like it has to be back to back. Those last 2, and then this is time where you have a little buffer, you have a little room in between you and number 3, and the ability to turn it on. But I do want to just circle this again, Coach. Middle block, middle block, middle block. This is a night where the bigs in the middle have to be dominant.
They do, and because we know that the middles for Columbus are going to get theirs. We have to counteract that a little bit with our middle, and not just because our middles, we want to get them involved, but because if our middles are involved, that means that we are now passing well. We are now able to create space with our other pins. It just opens so much up for everybody else. Setting the middle is important. Having the middles be a force on block is also very important because we want to slow down their middles.
On a night when Caitlin Horde is not in the building, it changes everything. It changes everything. It changes depth, changes rotation. It makes it simple. Coach, we have a minute. Give us 3 keys to watch, things to watch for tonight.
Well, I mean, so the Little Birds' 3 keys to victory. Number 1, first contact. We have to serve tough and set the tone of the match, is what she said. And I agree with that 100%. Because if we're serving tough, keeping them out of system, that's going to make it harder for them to set their middles. It'll be interesting to see if Raynell Jones or Jenna Rosenthal gets the start in the middle, because Rosenthal's also a very good middle. Jones has been the one who's been in the majority of the matches, so I would guess they go with Jones on that. Number 2, we have to have a balanced attack, and we have to really attack at them. And she wants to make sure we're running our middle blockers, but also running our back row attacks. We did not run that nearly as much in San Diego. We really didn't do anything we had been doing in San Diego. It was kind of like opposite day a little bit, where we just heavily depended on Betty and the pins, and it didn't work. So I think that was maybe a learning experience that we do need to get everybody involved. And then number 3, we absolutely have to be relentless and outwork the Fury, but we also have to execute in the process. So those are the 3 keys to victory on there. I think the middle versus middle matchups are going to be interesting. So I think that's something that we can keep an eye on. And then I think the libero versus libero matchup is also going to be interesting. So
Who has
we'll
a better night?
It's going to be so much fun.
Run the show. Who runs the show? Who runs best wins the match. That'll do it for the pre-match show here on 93.7 The Ticket and the Supernovas Radio Network. Jump over. Again, you can catch the stream on YouTube, but catch the call on the Ticket, theticketfm.com, the Ticket app, the Supernovas app, or supernovas.com. Either way you want. DP Coach Renee Saunders will be back in 3 minutes to Omaha, Nebraska, CHA Health Center. You got Pro Federation Volleyball coming to you on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska's always been a leader in college athletics, and we're